Center. So I just want to hear first if you can see my slides. I hope that will be that is possible, because that is how I will. That's how I'm going to go through the program. So first, I'm going to say a little bit about what is One World Center and who are we and what are we about, and then I will go into details about a 6 months shoulder to shoulder for change program we have here in the United States, and a 10 months volunteer abroad program. And then I will just sum up, and then there will be space for questions. So again, thank you for coming, and I'll just go straight ahead with it. So One World Center is a non-profit organization, and with a mission to inspire and empower ordinary people to take action against worldwide poverty and climate change. We address the big issues of our time with a unique teaching and learning environment that cultivates social change and support our global vision, a sustainable future. So just to say a little bit about that, what we really believe is that we as ordinary people, you and me and everybody around us, we have the capacities, and we have also the power to make the changes that we want to see. And that is, you can say, that is our starting point. We really believe in people. So what we do at One World Center with our programs is that we gather people who want to be part of what we can call a positive change, to team up, and while learning, also doing. So that I will get a little bit further into. So we build on togetherness, meaning that we really believe that we have to come together in one kind of formation or another if we want to create change. It also means that our program is based on communal living and working in teams, and that we, with all our differences, make it better when we do it together, and we accept each other, and we see the positive in each other. We're also creating a holistic learning environment, and for us that means that we include many different elements in our learning. So we do studies, we give lessons, what we call courses, we value experiences, so all kind of experiences that the students get, or that we together with the students get, that is also very valuable. All these daily life things, if we put a little extra attention to it and think about them, it's very, very valuable learning. Also, our methods can be many different things. It can be books, it can be documentaries, it can be to go out and talk with people on the streets, or to find experts within a specific topic and talk with them, and so on. So that's how we look at holistic learning. We think that if we talk about creating change, many of us, we can be a little setback and like, what kind of change are we going to do, and what impact do I have as a person, or my group, what kind of impact does the group has? But if we think about it, like many small actions comes together in the greater picture. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about that, but that's what I'm calling step by step we create positive change. And lastly, I will say that we really believe we need to create living environment in a sustainable way, with planet protection in mind, and with resilience for us to move forward for the next, maybe not 10 years, but maybe 10 years, 50 years, 200 years. So these are some of the elements that we will not focus on a lot directly, but we are bringing into how we teach and how we learn and how we run our programs. So you can say, I spoke a little bit about it. So just to sum it up, our values, the spirit of togetherness, a holistic learning environment, step by step we create change, sustainability, planet protection, and resilience. We're not going to talk more about that now. It will, yeah. So that is the fundament, and that is what we strive to accomplish, or that we go toward, or the direction we have with our programs. So This year, we are running 2 programs, and these are the ones I will talk about. Next year, we will also restart a program that's called the Study Volunteer Program. So the program we are running is the Shoulder to Shoulder for Change program. It's a community program in the United States. It's 6 months, and we will start it in May and November this year, and March, July, and November next year, and going forward. We have the Volunteer Abroad program. It's a 10-month program. It's a volunteer activist program. It has 6 of the 10 months it will be abroad, working in a development project. And then we have a study volunteer program which is 18 months, and they will also have 6 months abroad. So you will see that they will have 12 months, 6 months before and 6 months after, for studying more about the situation of the world, development aid, and going more into those issues. So it's a much more study-oriented program, whereas the Volunteer Abroad program is much more, you can say, practical, hands-on program. For the 18 months, just to mention it shortly, we are also in cooperation with One World University based in Mozambique, and the students will be able to take credit hours from there. So that's just a quick overview. So let's go a little bit into the Shoulder to Shoulder for Change program. So this program is focused on grassroots communities here in the United States. And we are teaming up with a number of nonprofits around us here in Michigan and in the northern Indiana. And the idea is that our participants, they will get experience working in a nonprofit in the United States together with those organizations. They will gain knowledge about the nonprofit work, and they will get that through theoretical studies that they will do here as a preparation, and practical work and experiences being in those organizations whom we team up with. And the aim is to become a community activist so that they can create the positive change they want to see back in their local communities. And that is, I mean, you can say that what you get out of the program is always up to each individual, but you can say that is what we are striving for with this program, is to people to be inspired and also feel that they have the confidence and the power to go back and create change in their communities. So it's built up in 3 phases. Phase 1 is a 2 months preparation period. And here it will, it takes place here at our campus in Dvorak, Michigan, where they will have a mix of theoretical studies. We think that it's really important that you have theoretical studies, that you have a lot of debates between yourself to understand this better, that you have practical hands-on experiences, and that you can put it all together, and then you go out and you practice some of the things that you have learned about, and you can say that you you walk your talk in a way. So that is the base of the program. The program also will include activities such as fundraising, excursions with the team, hosting events. We're living at the school. It's organized as a community. So all who live here, and that includes we as the staff, and also the participants who come, we run this place and we live together. So we will all participate in cooking and cleaning and maintenance, and create good evening programs, and take advantage of that we come from different cultures and backgrounds and so on. I can also mention that we also strive to have international communities. So we are inviting people to come to our programs, both here from the United States, but also from abroad. So typically we are getting students from Latin America, from Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Chile are the typical countries. And from Europe, we are starting to getting students from Europe, and we have so far had some from France and from Germany. So that's really exciting that we are putting the European aspect also into our international environment. The next phase of this program is at the project, and that's a 3 months phase. So here you see, we really put emphasis on then start to practice some of the things that the students have learned in the preparation period. They will be divided into smaller groups, 2 or 3 people, and go out to different organizations. And there they will do whatever work that it takes to run an organization and get some hands-on experience on what is it to run a local nonprofit. For example, I can imagine that they will understand that, that there is a lot of humble work in creating change. Creating change is not like something big that always happen at in the conference centers. It's really to be on the ground and to, for example, here on the picture, move that soil and build those beds and create that organic community garden that these pictures are represented. So, and it is to get close to people. It's also to get into this part of the United States, if you come from US and if you come from abroad, to understand that a lot of people are also struggling and they need an extra hand. And poverty is not only something that is happening, let's say, in Mozambique or in Malawi or something far, far away, it's also in our own backyard. So for those who really want to learn more about that and get their hands on it, then this is part of the experience. Also, in this period, the participants will keep on learning. We think that it's important that we keep on learning theoretically while we're also doing the work in practice. And the studies will also focus on the structures of nonprofit. What will it take to start nonprofits? How do we run? What are the different elements of running a nonprofit organization? And then the last month is a conclusion phase where the team come back. They have been out in their small groups with different organizations. They will come back here at the campus in the Warjack and say, what did we learn? How can we put all this together and conclude on all those experiences and hopefully mind-blowing experiences that they've had, the people they have met, the aspects of life that they have heard now from other people where they have been working and living together with for 3 months. And also this period is to bring together and conclude what have we learned, what do we think is good to bring out to more people, and get out and talk about their experiences, talking about their learnings, talking about maybe some specific elements that the team define, like why is it that there is such a big need for community gardens in Detroit, just to say one conclusion that the team could make, and then go out and talk about it. And they also, by this, will train their public speaking skills. Then they will finish up, they will decide each of them, and maybe together, what are they going to do next? For some of our participants who come to our program, they are not sure what they want to do next. They say, I want something different with my life, so let me figure out, take this program and let me figure out if I want to make a career within a humanitarian work, or if I want something different. Other people, they know exactly what they want. They might take this as a step between finishing high school and before continue studying at college and universities. It's very different, but this period also give a time to say, what is the next for me to do? This is just a slide that shows a little about the periods in the program and the subjects. And I'm not going to go into details with it, but it just expresses some of the elements that we are teaching about. So we are talking, for example, we call ourselves another kind of school, and it means that we are giving value to many different ways of learning, and also we are putting the students at the center. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, of their learning. We will teach about the world, so we also understand you can say our local condition seen in a broader picture. We will teach about global warming and climate change, and so on and so forth. So we will go out in different directions. But still it end up, or it is connected with, or it could be connected with the work that they are going to do in the communities. And it's also connected with, why is it that we have this huge inequality in our societies? And now I'm not only talking about the United States, but in general, why do we have so big inequalities? So the program will also touch about these kind of questions, and it's also very open for whatever questions that the participants want to touch. So that's a short summary of what is the Shoulder to Shoulder for Change program about. Here is just a quick 10 things you will gain. But there will be many other elements to it also. We have just tried to say these 10 things for sure you're gonna train that throughout your program. Then I will start to talk about the volunteer abroad. This program takes 10 months. It's divided also into 3 phases. It has a preparation phase, a project phase, and a conclusion phase. This program is more than just volunteering. It's about studying and learning about the world that we have today in order to understand why is the situation at the project countries it is. Why is it that we have, if you go, for example, to Malawi in Southern Africa, why is it that Malawi keep being poor? And we think one is it's important to understand the global connections that there are between a single country and the other countries and the global as such. And it's also because we think it's really, really important that our people, when they get out in the projects, they understand better why is the situation as it is, so that they're not bringing judgment toward the people that they're working with. For example, oh, that's just because they're lazy, or oh, they don't want to go to school, or whatever kind of judgments that we from our part of the world can easily take if we don't understand the broader picture and if we don't understand what is it that put people in the situation that they're in. The program is also a good way to get field experience. For many people who want to create international aid career, for example, they need in many places to have field experience. So how do we get the field experience? One way could be to take one of the programs that we have here. The project countries that we work with is Brazil, St. Vincent, Malawi, Zambia, and Mozambique. We work with Humana People to People, and I guess I don't need to introduce Humana People to you, but that is a huge international development organization whom we then team up with and give the opportunities to our volunteers to be part of the projects that they're running. We have recently also added St. Vincent to our project country. St. Vincent is a small island in the Caribbean. They have a school like ours there. They also have a number of projects that they're running. So we have created that cooperation that our participants here from the United States can also go to St. Vincent and work with Richmond Vale Academy there in order to move forward their projects. The preparation period at 3 months, it's very similar to the preparation period that I just talked about. But what is different is that this period will, here in this program, we will focus more on global issues. We will focus more on the influence on why is it that the countries, the project countries, as we say, why is it that they are poor? And what dynamics keeps them being poor? And what could be their way out of poverty? What could be their community's way out of poverty? And what could be our students' role in moving these things forward? Also here is part of the community living, as I said before, part of running the place. As we say, we run the school together. That means that everybody is part of doing the practical stuff, for example, and also have an influence on how do we organize and how do we do things. Then there is the project period. This project period is 6 months. It's half a year. It's a sustainable, good time to get into the community where the students are going to work. So it means to live and work with people, or maybe different groups. Maybe they can do more than in one group. They will work and travel from village to village, but get really close to the people that they're working with, get to understand what are the fights and what are the issues that they have in their daily life, and start to be part of, imagine and also be part of implementing what kind of solutions can there be. You can say, how much can you manage in 6 months? You can manage a lot, but also you can't manage that much. It's like both things are true, and that's why it's so important that we work together with Humana people to people who are running the projects. They run the projects before we came, and then you can say our participants will jump on the train and be part of creating the change, be part of moving forward the work, and then they will jump off the train again, come back here and continue their program and continue their life, while the projects will continue running then without them. We work particularly within 3 areas: agriculture and food security, education and health, and I'll go a little bit deeper into that. So the agriculture and food security. So where our participants fit in is that they can help to establish, for example, in this picture here, home gardens. So they work together with the home garden owners to establish organic or ecological farming methods, to teach how to do it, to build the beds, to really get it moving, and to support the people who have those home gardens to, number one, grow food so they secure their own supplies, and maybe even they can sell it and do it organically because it's better for the environment, and the nutrients that they get from and the food from the plants are so much better. It can also be to support farmers clubs, so which are clubs that are organized out in many different communities where small-scale farmers come together and learn better how to take more advantage of their farming, maybe including ecological farming, but also how to intercrop, maybe to introduce new kind of crops and so on. And the Farmers Club also go broader than that. They will also start work within education and health. But another big project that our participants typically participate in is to establish school gardens. So that's again to get out, mobilize people to participate together with them, together with Humana, and establish school gardens so children learn how to grow food, and also it's a supplement for their lunch. Education. There is always a need of education from primary schools and up to university, and also even outside school settings. Teaching and educating is a big part, what we think, in creating change. We need to understand why do we need to change our ways before we really embrace it. So here, our participants, this is Andrea and Renata and Angel. They are working with preschools in Malawi. So what they do is that they help to train the teachers who are always volunteers. There is not like government support for preschools in Malawi. They help to establish school gardens and set up irrigation system or water collection. And sometimes also they help to build the preschool buildings. Health. It is the part of the health that we participate in is very with a very practical approach. It's not that you have to be a nurse or a doctor or anything of that. For example, here Lola and Laura, together with the people in Bahia in Brazil, are building latrines. So just the fact that you have a latrine helps on the health situation. Or it can be set up hand washing stations, or to teach how to purify water with the rays from the sun. Or it can be how to prevent malaria by planting lemongrass, for example. There are so many small actions that can create really a big difference in people's lives. So it's these kind of activities that we participate in when we talk about health. And a lot of teaching about nutrition, teaching about maybe changing behavior, and so on and so forth. Also, this team has a conclusion period, very similar to the one we talked about for the Shoulder to Shoulder for Change program. So again, the team has been out in their small groups. They come together, they share all what they have learned and lived throughout the 6 months, and put it together and say, oh, how can we bring the message of what we have experienced out to many more people? They will go out and talk, they will practice their public speaking skills, they will be maybe more aware of what they have learned and what they have more or less, more precisely experienced when they start to talk with more people about it. Also, they will start to prepare for what is next in their life. And again, we have an experience that a lot of people come to this program because they really want to make a change of path in their life. They're like, what am I going to do now? I'm not really sure. Let me see, maybe I want to do a humanitarian career. Another group of people coming to this program, we see more and more students who just graduate from high school and who are not sure what the next step. Do they want to study? What should they study? And to take this program will really, it will for sure help them to grow, but they will also be more clear on what they want to do next in their lives. So many different, and again, some they have a clear path, what they want, they take a year out, they do this program, they take the experience and the learning, and they move on with what they have already planned. So it's very different people and many very different approaches to how to then use what they get out of the programs. Yeah, and just again, a small list of what you gain. I'm not going to go through it. We have talked a lot about it already. So this is short about the programs. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about our way of teaching. And that goes for any program that we have. We put an emphasis on putting the participants in the driving seat. We think it's really, really important that if you're going to learn something, you need to understand why you're going to learn it, and you need to understand, and you need to want to learn it. Otherwise, why spend time on it and spend effort to it? So with that approach, we have created a way of our teaching and learning that we call it in short DMM, the doctrine of the modern learning. It doesn't say so much, but it's a way that is divided into 3 areas. We have studies, we have courses, and we have experiences. So studies is really where a student individually can go into the subject that they are that is on their schedule and just indulge, read and learn and write and go out and talk to people and do it individually. It also means you can do it in your own speed, and it means that you can choose different things. A team doesn't have to study exactly the same task or exactly the same subject. Yeah, subject, yes, but topic. The courses, that's where the teacher is on the stage, you can say, is led by the teacher, and we provide for a large part of it, the knowledge. It also, the way can be many ways. It can be in front of the whiteboard and talking and asking questions, but it can also be organized in many other ways, maybe to go out and talk to other people, maybe it can be group dynamic, or courses can have many different structures, but the central part is led by the teacher. It's not individual. It's led by the teacher and it's done in the team. And the last part is what we call experiences. And we really value that what you learn through experiences. And this can be planned experiences, or it can also be experiences that you simply have by living. Take a walk at Lake Michigan, an early morning while the sun is rising, for example. That is could be a really experience that does something to you. And if you put attention to what is it that it does, then it counts for us as an experience. Or cooking with the food that we just grow in our organic farm. Or that's just like these kind of things that we do in life. If we put attention and say, wait, what does it do to me? We are learning. Oh, sorry. What I forgot to say here is that also we have it all organized in a platform. So all the knowledge, all the subjects, all the study tasks, all the courses, they are described on a platform online where the students have access to it. So it's very clear for the students what they need to learn, and it's very clear then you can just take ahead of it. There is also more than what is our minimum demands, so that if somebody really wants to learn more about international development aid, they can go in and do more studies with that. There shouldn't be a limit for learning, if you ask us. And then I will finish up with talking a little bit about our campus. Our campus is here in the Warjack, which is in the it's in Michigan, close to Indiana. We have two buildings. This one where the pictures here are from, that's from our common buildings, is organized with a big assembly hall, common space, and community kitchen and classrooms. And we have our dormitory with rooms that we have just renovated a few years ago. And for that, we're really happy. They needed a big renovation. It has a laundry and it has a fitness room. There will be 2 people living in each room, and 2 rooms, 4 people will share a bathroom. Then we have our farm. We really think that we should, you can say even just as human beings, if we have a piece of land, we should grow food. We believe that local food production is where we need to go. We have to stop transporting our food half around the world if we want to both have food that is fresh and full of nutrients, but also simply from an environmental point of view. So we teach, regardless of what team you're on, everybody will learn about growing food organically. And we have last year hired a farm manager who is really, really knowledgeable within this field, and we are expecting to grow our activity within organic farming over the next years. And again, it's simple to implement. Maybe it's a lot of work. Maybe it's not that simple always to then make the plants grow as they should and give the vegetables or fruit we want. But on the other hand, if there is a piece of land, we can grow food. And it's a relatively simple way to address food insecurity. Yeah, and here just some pictures from Zambia and from South Bend and Warjack. So here my presentation will end, and now I'm